Hi guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Th this is going to be a Smackdown review of some sorts from last night, because I've got a few things I'd actually really like to say about the show. Um, obviously. Obviously, I've been very critical of the whole sort of WrestleMania build-up, the last, the last few weeks on X, um, because, because basically it's been the EQ finishes galore in certain matches, um, and it's really been pissing me off. Like it's the shitty easy finish, but I'm happy to actually report them as no DQ finishes. Although when we get to it, though, there was like a shitty roll up finish instead in the Motor City Machine Guns DIY Agma obviously the exposed um Huckle came into play, but to kick off the show we had CM Punk obviously come out and give a passionate promo, and then Heyman comes out midway through, and he asks Punk to tell him the favour and that he wants, because obviously he had indicated that the WrestleMania main event um wasn't the favour he asked for. So like as soon as Roman Reigns gets here, he's going to tell him the favour, because as Heyman's like these Simones get pissed away, and you don't tell when you don't tell them what's going down. Like the opening match of the night was obviously the debut of Ray Phoenix, who is another internationally based star. He's had spells in AEW, AEW, Lucha Underground, and obviously um, ENA, or as it was known back then in Impact Wrestling. They've rebranded it again back to ENA, so go figure. Basically, he's the brother of um, he's the brother of Penta. Um, Obviously, as well, they've been a tag team called the Lucha Brothers for years, but they decided to put them on separate brands. Obviously, the Phoenix is exclusive to SmackDown. Um, Penta's exclusive to or and I'm sure at some point down the line we will get a Lucha Brothers sort of reunion, if you like, as we go through um as we go through the our journey in WWE. WWE. Um, Obviously, as with his entry is similar to his brothers. I think if Phoenix has got a bit more pyro to his entrance. Um, Obviously, out the two of them, I prefer Penta. I think Penta has got a bit more personality about him, but it doesn't mean to say that or is Phoenix isn't accomplished. He is. I just don't want to think. I just want to think he's just Um, he has the charisma that Penn has against the over there completely. That was a good that was a good BUM actually had to from um the Ray Phoenix had um already against Ethan Fraser, is who is currently still on half of the NXT like champions, and obviously is I'm very well versed in one who Ethan Fraser is. There was a slight there was a slight there was a slight arch at the half a on the arch obviously as Murray Phoenix was going out for the suicide dive um, um obviously Ethan Free is a sort of his positioning slightly. But apart from that, I thought it was a decent match. Obviously as well, Ethan Farley is obviously very similar to Seth Rollins. He's you after Seth Rollins and Park train um him. So basically, in the match, it was a very back and forth match. Obviously, Murray Phoenix gets the win because he's the one being showcased. He obviously gets the win by the muscle bus or variation. I like that version he does now. The muscle bus as a very sort of generic power move, but the way that Phoenix has it, he puts a bit of spin on it, and yeah, he calls us the Mexican muscle buster. Go, oh, I yeah, or I really like the spin on it. It just adds a bit. It just adds a bit of flavour to the muscle bus, or and I think my friend um on who regularly joins me on wrestling live streams. I think he'll enjoy the Phoenix. Shout out Sean, by the way, hope you're alright, mate. Um, but but in the back, obviously, you see Santos Escobar and Legado de El Fantasma watching the match with interest, and you're at some point you're going to get a match between Santos and the ref. In X, obviously, they have history, and which are underground, but it seems as though a Gado just um figure out with fellow luchadors now, and uh, and like I'm not saying it won't be a good match, but can Santos feud if anybody else, because it just seems as though it just seems as though he's going to be stuck up feuding with luchadors till the end of time. Now I know his nickname's Emperor Lucha Libre, but for God's sake, can we not have him feud with another wrestler with a different style? I'm just I'm just saying, obviously as well we get obviously as well we get the train wreck promo between Charlotte Flair and Anthony Stratton. Actually, Billy Charlotte Flair here for this, because obviously she didn't know how to handle the ooze and the crowd, and she's actually supposed to be the heel of the feud, and you'd actually think it would be more Finney that would be on the back foot, because she um because she's only been on the on the main Ross for a couple of years. Charlotte's been on the main Ross for over a decade, so you'd think so you'd think she'd know how to play the hero, and just um and honest to God, she gets flustered every time the crowd actually boo. Um, or to be honest, and I just don't actually. I just I've been guilty over the past few years of overrating her. Oh, because all all this promo was about is her getting for us, and ended up she was cutting herself off constantly during her part of this promo bar. Oh, and I don't know what it is between the two of them. They don't between Charlotte and Finney. Yeah, I don't know what it is. They don't seem to have chemistry and promos or anything like this. Split screen interview is a disaster. Obviously, Finney, I think, got the better of Charlotte this week. Obviously, there's heat backstage. I don't think the two of them will like each other in all seriousness, because Stratton put up that Flair is on free and strategies and like the promo basically it ends after them. And like as soon as Tiffany's music starts playing, Charlotte Phil hears like, oh by the way, Kaiser's and my DMs, and it's like Jesus is Christ. I mean, you can't get him, and you can't let him or talent eat him or get the last or, and you've been basically wonderful or in championships. It's time for you to put somebody else over, and I think and I think Stratton should go over here, but I obviously no one Charlotte for years. Oh, I think she won't let that happen. And if you need any evidence as to why I don't want think and that'll happen, we'll look at the end of a segment. Um, Obviously the when the back use saw a bit of tension between LA Knight and Soul LA Knight and Soul was Wa obviously someone fastest at on was its opponent last night. There was but there was a backstage there was a backstage segment between Stro Omen, Ellen, Tamat, Onga, and so was the Owa obviously is Stro Omen's Stro Omen basically he said he wants to complete the grand slam solo and and Je- um interjecting like how that's happening then every night, but it's and he takes a piss out of soul. Oh, and he takes a sip out of Tama Tonga's hyena car. Oh, I laughed of was um obviously when we get the obviously when we get to the Halloween nightmare arch Halloween dispatch is a Tamatonga with um ease with the bullet on or Roma obviously as well, so Osako tries to get in on the act and help to on but to no avail. Elrin gets out with the and it's nice that we don't have any it's nice that we don't want to have any disqualifications of this episode. Um, and the back obviously it's very yeah we'll be getting a match between Pretty Dead to and as Melo don't as if a show name as Melo don't as the actual name of the as in Melo tag team is that official or is that um or is that or is that just something stupid s- uh, in promos? In any case, like like I don't really know why them is still around basically. He's on pretty much everything there is to do. I don't think him and Kermit is very well. Obviously, it's something. Obviously, it's something to keep Carmelo. He's relevant this time, because obviously they still see something in Carmelo. He's and it's just a mechanic to keep Carmelo. He's on screen. Um, but yeah, that's about the size of it. Um, and then you get Pretty Dead till who barely won in any she's barring the number 1 contendership match on the overseas Smackdown. Obviously as well they lost to the war opportunity against to the Street Profits, so this will probably be a match for next week. Um, so then maybe get a match between Naomi and Aoife. Each and briefly he comes out with a um EFAB, and it's obvious that it's obvious that they'll not be the tag in that will be challenging or Evan Raquel for the women's tag belts, obviously. Um, obviously, because they just actually seem like an enhancement him at the moment because Charlotte sound totally beating each in the last week, and now Naomi beat Aoife, but now Naomi looks actually pretty cool in the whole sort of own heart-esque attire. Um, but I'm sorry, but I don't really. I'm sorry, I don't really see. I don't really see. Um, I don't actually see the Feel the Guilt theme song that she comes out to that I'll fit in with that character, or because obviously she's got on a bit more side. Oh, she's kind of gone into sort of 97 own heart sort of um own heart sort of psychotic um sort of psychotic persona and personality. I don't really see that theme song actually meshing well with that character, because it's still because it's associated with a baby faced character. I do actually like that was actually a fun that was actually that was actually fun to basically into a kill shit the castle last year, but sadly I think I think Naomi needs some new music. I don't think that suits the character basically that she's got at the moment. But yeah, she sounded it's EFAB, and apparently EFAB's been working at the heart of engine with to Ice Kid and Natalia. They've assumed control with the heart engine, and obviously they've allowed EFAB to come and train if obviously EFAB could with a bit of extra training. She's kind of got the promo thing down. It's just her in the ring marks that's like really off round to edges. I've often I've often said to as well that they should keep her around, but kind of have her help if Fred, because she's very talented musically. Eh, she's just going to be one of these wrestlers that are in the ring or kind of looks a bit sloppy, if you know what I mean, because the majority of our in the ring stuff is all just it's basically, to be honest. Um, Obviously as well, the correct decision was to have Naomi go over in the match. Like I know like a variation of kind of like a variation of a long war. It was a sliding version of it. Some people call it a code breaker, some people call it a long bill war. I think it depends on the performer, basically. So she gets away, and with that correct decision, I forgot that Jade Cargill attacked her before the match started with and after the match, and obviously Nicole Aldi is and announces that that match will be at the WrestleMania. No problem of that, because you need vengeance feuds. Obviously the next match is obviously um as obviously Motorcycle Machine Guns and versus and yeah, I, as I said at the start of the video, like it was kind of a fluky one, and MCMG don't really get an entrance. I don't know what the hell that is about. Because obviously they are in a they are in a compilation tag him, and despite getting the and it made them uh, um k- kind of like jobbers basically. Eh, Obviously that theme song is just a short anyway. I think they do need some new music anyway, to be honest. But yeah, they get the one, and they get the one, and as I expose the top of cool the number of cool obviously. I think it was Gargano's head that goes on. Sabin goes for the roll up, gets the win. Obviously it was a good match up until the roll up finish, but hey, at least it wasn't a qualification. Then we get, um, the, then we get, obviously the sad announcement that Kevin Owens is going to need, heck, surgery, and I would just actually like to say Evan Owens a sure a speedy recovery because you've been doing some great heel work against Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event, and at the Royal Rumble. You've done some great heel work with Sami Zayn that led to the incredible match at Elimination Chamber. Obviously, Sami Zayn's taking some time off as well, but it just actually seems strange that two of the points of the Triple H era that these who have been are going to actually miss the WrestleMania because it was only like at the you know in nine they were on they were on the tag titles they were on the tag titles in California at the WrestleMania, so it's very strange and quite disappointing that they're both out injured because I like both of them. Obviously, as well, they've been hyping them match with Randy Orton for weeks, um, but we now kind of know Randy Orton's opponent. Randy Orton will be getting a match at WrestleMania here. KO's Nick Aldis, and I think that'll be a match for WrestleMania for the one for Randy Orton. Randy Orton against SmackDown GM Nick Aldis. Aldis is again another very well established wrestler. He's had spells in NWA Impact wrestling, and he was the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Tag Team Champion, etc. Um, he's actually like him a long he was in the he was in the sky version of Gladiators. That's how ENA picked him up, but since then he's became very accomplished. Obviously had the win for NWA World title on that's the NWA that's spearheaded by Billy Orton's management. So yeah, he has been. He is a well-known name, and obviously, I'm a big fan of his work. Obviously, been obviously as well in addition into being the SmackDown GM, I think he's a producer behind the scenes as well. But I'm happy that people that have just tuned it back into the swing like Sean and obviously um and obviously respect Sam on what or I'll get to see how good Nick Alden is, because he's a very good wrestler. I don't really know if Orton turned heel last night, or whether or not Aldi is going to be the heel, because obviously Nick Aldi is is obviously a very well refined heel basically, and he I think he suits being a heel better, to be honest. As as Orton, so it'll be so it'll be interesting to see who's in that heel or all. Um, obviously as well. Obviously as well, if you go back through his era on as Magnus, you could see that Aldous knows how to create, uh, uh, how to, sorry, he, and, yeah, so what might be an idea, and, um, so it might be an idea to make Aldi is the heel in this situation. Obviously, it's not ideal that, yeah, um, obviously it's not ideal that Evan Owens, and announces live on TV that he's injured, and initially, I and initially I thought that it was a work basically, because you had Orton come out while Owens is still in the ring, and you thought, alright, is going to be, um, this is going to be storyline, um, is, or at least at anyway. But obviously, Owens just leaves after Orton comes into the ring. Old is, and basically he says, "I'm sorry, Randy, I'm actually if Evan Owens is off or WrestleMania." And then Orton RKO's old is right in the middle of the ring, which basically implies to me that'll be the match for WrestleMania. Um, also as well, you've got the last man standing match between Jacob Fatu and but on Stiro Omen again, an excellent match. I'd probably had on it a couple of weeks ago on the European tour, so we could build to the Jacob early in the night my match and get a bit more meat on the bone with it, but obviously as well they decide to save it for Chicago. Obviously as well, the right outcome, Jacob goes over in the last man standing match, a very physical match, and then out the ring they basically destroyed to the attack area, and the barricade, everything basically very chaotic uh, and it sets up the match that um, I've kind of wanted to see for the past few weeks. Obviously, Jacob Fatu and LA Knight are two of my eyes, and I see Jacob Fatu och now as United States champion. Obviously, as well, after that, you could probably have solo on uh, and Tonga wa um and Tonga would do the evolution type thing here. He basically on Jacob after he wins the US title and could set up a Jacob and so program for back for um for backlash. Um but yeah, any case, so we get uh, so we get to the last so we get to the last moments of the show. Obviously, Roman Reigns comes out in the hands that Punk comes out and tells him the favour. Um, Obviously, as well, Seth Rollins is out because he's a keenly interested party and to find out what the favour is. Um, Obviously, as the two of them continued their exchange. Unk comes out of it and Chile says as to says Roman, I'm going to take you out your comfort zone, um, and like them um, and have Paul Heyman, your Iceman, and my corner are obviously CM Punk and Paul Heyman have a behind the scenes for the friendship that's why that's why I he, and that's why I did a couple of the age at this point. Obviously, since CM Punk is brought into WWE development and in the OVW Kentucky is Heyman was one of the creative forces and also talent relations down in here and ECW's real launch at WWE commissioned Heyman and did to bring in CM Punk with that brand and he wanted to make him he wanted to make him the ECW champion and build the brand around him, but obviously McMahon said oh obviously McMahon said no at the time he wanted his own guys featured and obviously Heyman was instrumental on CM Punk keeping CM Punk aim he helped Filbert or Rips keep the name because WWE were a very strict name. All I say, so Heyman went to bat to the Punk for that. So they have a behind the scenes friendship. Obviously as well, uh, obviously as well that kind of is in as well. Uh, or Roman and still I think so. Paul Heyman as he's on screen with Iceman. We get a bit of history of Punk mentioning OVW basically reigns and that's what triggers the favour. Or Ian's constantly as a man did Heyman ascending all basically and Heyman refuses to listen arrange and accepts the favour basically obviously as obviously as well it's kinda obviously as well it's kinda predictable in a sense because even the crowd are a bit sort of even the crowd are a bit sort of hushed and that they knew it was coming but storyline wise it makes sense and Punk gives a Roman the yeah, and the episode basically it ends. The episode basically ends in here. So, guys, I do have I do have some extra thoughts about this episode. Obviously, I'll probably give this a 6 out of 10. Obviously, it is a bit of an improvement on the past in Ross or episodes, but obviously as well I have a few picks. But just quickly before I leave the video, I did just actually like to make a prediction. I think what this is leading to a Feynman as um he's getting sick, um a Punk and Roman actually if fighting over him, and Seth Rollins is kinda slipping under the radar. So what I think will happen is this. Rollins gets the in and he um and Heyman sides with him or Owens, the guy who both of them hate, and obviously you could take it from here for backlash and beyond, but that's what I think is happening because Heyman is also making it obvious that he hates for all and it's that old sort of technique that a big someone else in. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know what you guys think on that. So guys, tell me in the comment section what you think of this episode. I'd be really interested interested to find out your thoughts and I know your thoughts on the whole Heyman situation because as well I think Heyman needs to be a heel because this baby face Heyman just doesn't seem right to me basically. And um yeah and let me know if you think my prediction will come or just I something else will go down here. So well guys, so like share and subscribe and I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers as well. So share the channel out and with that folks, I hope you enjoyed the Smackdown review and and I'll see you all in the next video.